I can't see Mark Campbell.
Mark, can you turn your mic on?
And then, look at that, Travis, Teresa, okay. Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. This is the Genoa Township Board of Zoning Appeals. It is March 24th, 2026, 7 PM at the Genoa Township Hall, 5111 South Old 3C Highway, Westerville, Ohio, 43082. We actually have 5 agenda items tonight. And so we'll get to those in a timely manner here. And I will call the roll. Miss Yu?
Here.
Mr. Wilcoxon?
Here.
Mr. Campanella?
Here.
Mr. Holleran? And the chairman is here. And I do want to mention, okay, let me do a couple things here first. As is the adopted policy of the Board of Zoning Appeals, all applicants will be granted an opportunity to make their formal presentation. The audience will then be granted an opportunity to comment, followed by questions from the board. This policy was adopted by the Board of Zoning Appeals to provide for the orderly discussion of business scheduled for consideration. The chairperson may limit repetitive debate. Okay, the next item is consideration and approval of the meeting minutes from February 24th, 2026. I'll give you a moment to review those, and then I will entertain a motion to approve. That's disappointing. Pardon? Yeah. Apparently on the ride over, we decided we didn't want to play anymore. Okay, well, you know what? Okay, motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I approve the motion to, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Holleran. Okay. Any discussion, any revisions, anything? Then I'll call a vote. All in favor of approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2026, as presented. All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Before we get into the public hearings, I do want to mention that Mark Phillips, had he been here tonight, this would have been his last meeting as a member of the board. Teresa and I have worked with Mark over the years, 10, 11, 12 years, I don't know. I've lost track. And I do want to thank him for the time he spent, his input, his guidance, his helpfulness throughout the years has been absolutely appreciated. And I, for one, am going to miss Mr. Phillips. And I wish him well. And I appreciate what he has done for the township. So, moving right along, we will open the first public hearing, which is, okay, okay, second, third, fourth? No. Second, fourth, fifth. Okay. So I'm going to move to the second application. We're going to get these out of the way quickly, which is Anderson, is that right? Yes. Okay. And then we're going to come back to the ones that we're going to actually have hearings on and just do a little housekeeping here, get it out of the way, and then we can spend time on the applications. This hearing for an area variance is called to order at 7:05. And I will read the legal notice into the record. There's no one here that is appearing on this case except for Mr. Benson. And I'm not going to swear him in because we are going to have a motion to continue. But I will read the application into the record. Joshua and Kimberly Anderson requesting approval of a variance for an accessory structure to encroach into the side setback at 4359 Harlem Road, Galena, 43021, currently zoned rural residential, and that's BZA case 2026-09. The legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on March 11th, 2026 in the Delaware Gazette and posted at the Genoa Township Hall on March 9th, 2026. An attempt to mail notice of this hearing to property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject property was also made. At this time, let's see, I will make a motion to continue the public hearing for the subject of application, for the subject application known as 4359 Harlem Road, Galena, 43021, BZA case 2026-09 until April 28th, 2026 at the Genoa Township Hall so that we can receive additional or revised materials. Those materials will be due at the Genoa Township Development and Zoning Department by 4 p.m. on April 7th, 2026. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Yu. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the roll. Mr. Campanella?
Yes.
Mr. Holleran?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcoxen?
Yes.
And, oh, Ms. Yu?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. Almost forgot you there, sorry. Okay. So motion carries and it's continued. The next one is, okay, hold on. Oh, that one. Is it the, oh, here we go.
At the top and the bottom,
What page?
10.
10. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, this hearing is called to order at 7:08 p.m., and I'll read the legal notice into the record. Life Remembered North Lawn Cemetery requesting approval of a variance to exceed the maximum number of temporary signs at 7060 State Route 3, Westerville, Ohio, 43082, currently zoned rural residential, and that's BZA case 2026-12. The legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on March 11th, 2026 in the Delaware Gazette and posted at the Genoa Township Hall on March 9th, 2026. An attempt to mail notice of this hearing to property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject property was also made. Excuse me. The following were marked there are no exhibits. And I, at this time, will make a motion to continue the public hearing for the subject application known as North Lawn Cemetery, BZA case 2026-11, until April 28th, 2026. Additional or revised materials will be due at the Genoa Township Development and Zoning Department on April 7th at 4 p.m. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Second by Mr. Wilcoxen. Any discussion?
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Chair. That's supposed to be 2026-12 for that
Oh,
one.
1-2?
Yeah, that was a typo. Yep, correct.
Oh, okay. All right. Then the case number is 2026-12. Any other discussion? Any other issues? Okay, then I'll call the vote. Mr. Campanella?
Yes.
Mr. Holleran?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcoxen?
Yes.
Ms. Yu?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. And it, case is continued. Ah. Okay. No.
Yeah, you just did the bottom of page 10.
Oh, that's right, because it's the same applicant. Okay, so this one is going to be case it says 2026, no, this is not right. I'm sorry?
This for the bottom one on page 10. You did do the legal notice for the top one on page 10. You did the signs. They're also applying for a setback variance. So you do the one for the setback
Got it.
variance.
Maybe. Okay. Yes, okay, I'm going to call it, well, it's the same hearing, the same legal notice, except it's, man, what am I not seeing here?
Yeah, Yeah, you,
That one.
This one?
Yeah.
Except that it says, I thought I saw it said Harlem Road.
that was the first one we did.
Yeah, I realize that. Okay. Must be me. Okay. Legal notice for the hearing was printed and published March 11th and posted to the Township Hall on March 9th. Okay, a continuance has been requested as of March 4th, and this is for the approval of a variance for an accessory building to encroach into a side setback at 7060 State Route 3, Westerville, Ohio, 43082, currently zoned rural residential. And I will move to continue the public hearing for the subject application known as North Lawn Cemetery, BZA case 2026-11, until April 28th, 2026. In the Genoa Township Hall, and additional revised materials will be due to the Genoa Township Development and Zoning Department by April 7th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Second?
Second.
By Ms. Yu. Discussion? Okay. I'll call the roll. Mr. Campanella?
Yes.
Mr. Holleran?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcoxen?
Yes.
Ms. Yu?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and it is continued. Are these people gonna have their materials? Will they be able to meet that deadline? I guess it's,
Should be.
okay. They're aware of it already and they.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let's go back now to. Okay, I'm going to call the hearing to order for, actually, on the agenda, it's the first case. And I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:14. And I'll read the legal notice into the record, and then I'll have those that wish to speak on this matter sworn in. Michael and Amber Canavan requesting approval of a variance for an addition to encroach into a side setback at 5292 Harrow Glen Drive in Galena, 43021, which is lot 6251 in Grand Oak, currently zoned planned residential district, PRD. This is case BZA case 2026-08. Those that wish to appear and testify in this matter, please stand and raise your right hand. We don't charge extra, so. A lot of times the wife does much better, so it's fine. Yeah, well, I know in my house. Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, be seated. The legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on March 11th, 2026 in the Delaware Gazette and posted at the Genoa Township Hall on March 9th, 2026. An attempt to mail notices hearing to property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject property was also made. The following are marked as exhibits A through E: legal notice, sign-in sheet, application, staff report dated March 17th, all public comments received by the Development and Zoning Department between February 19th and March 24th. And did we have any, Paul? Any comments? I don't
No,
remember
we did have
seeing-
one person that called,
Uh-huh.
they had seen the sign in the yard,
Yeah,
and they were just curious as to what the application was about.
yeah,
We pointed them to where they could find the application online. They sent us a reply that said, "Thank you for letting me find it. I found it very interesting," but they didn't have any comments for
Okay.
or against the
okay.
application.
That's pretty typical. Okay, then we will start with the staff report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. So Grand Oak was platted in January of 2002. This house was permitted in January of 2005. There was a deck that was permitted in July of 2007, and an addition that was approved in September of 2022. Now, the history of this variance application goes back pretty far. We had originally received a contact from the applicant in February of 2021 regarding adding a third car garage bay onto their existing two-car garage. After doing the research on the Grand Oak Final Development Plan, we found that the setback for any property that abuts open space is 30 feet from that open space. So we sent them, or we explained that to them. They said, okay, we'll get back to you after we try to maybe redo some plans, figure out if we can fit it in to the 30-foot setback. And then we didn't hear from the applicant or the builder again until August of 2025. When we got an email from the applicant that stated Jeff Peters of Premier Remodeling could apply on their behalf for a zoning permit. We got that permit application that day. And again, I emailed them, and on August 14th, 8 days later, to let them know the application as it stands puts the third-car garage bay within that 30 feet of the side setback to the open space, and that the only way you could do that would be through the variance application for the variance process. And they, of course, since have applied for the variance. Just some notes on the Grand Oak Final Development Plan. The normal side setback for any property that does not abut open space is 6 feet, with a minimum separation between buildings of 15 feet. The second item on there is actually something I need to update on the staff memo. I had originally said that the house was 32.36 feet from the open space. The applicant called me a couple days ago to update that and said that the number that was used on that survey there when they gave for the plot plan, when they gave them the permit, that actually 32.36 points to an easement. It does not point to the side lot line. It actually says it's 35.68 there, but we also have an as-built survey that's further down in that permit that was submitted for the certificate of compliance. And that survey says the survey that was done after it was built, the back right corner of the house is 36.1 feet from the side lot line. And because of the angle of the lot, they actually have a little bit more space than that at the front of the house
So
from
regardless, you're
the
still
36.1.
well within
Yeah,
that.
correct, yeah, they're asking, I think, for 14 extra feet. So they're still gonna be within that 30 feet.
Mhm.
But the 14 feet is not gonna put them all the way up to 12 feet, which they would be if they were 32 feet from the lot line. They're actually more like 37 feet, so they're only asking for less than what the 12
What is
feet.
the total
so,
encroachment then?
That would be a question for the applicant once they come up here. We did send a application to police, fire, and maintenance. Fire Marshal Cato responded that he had no concerns. We did not receive any responses from police or maintenance. And as stated before, we had the one neighbor that had called, and they did not have any concerns for or against the application. And I'll send it back to you.
Anybody have any questions for staff? Okay, well, let's hear from the applicant. If you guys want to, you can either stand at the podium, or most people sit at the table if you want to just come up and. You know you're going to.
Good evening.
If you introduce yourself, please.
My name is Michael Canavan. This is my wife, Amber. Appreciate the opportunity to request this variance. We're seeking a 5-foot variance into the 30-foot setback on the north side of our property that butts to green space, which is really mature, dense forest. In order to properly put a 14-foot garage in there, we would have to, like I said, go in about 5 feet into that. We kicked around options of trying to do an 8-foot garage, but where there's a front pine tree, it would just make it a maneuverability nightmare trying to get a vehicle in there.
Mhm.
So, as we've been kind of looking at this since, I think you said 2021, so we've been
Oh,
exploring a lot of
geez.
different options.
And I thought about things a long time. Okay. 14-foot wide garage, and I've got the view, and it obviously is attached to the existing two.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, since we're here, have you submitted this to the HOA? And have they said anything?
Yes, this was submitted to the HOA.
Okay.
I was going to submit, have documentation in here, but our HOA is in the process of going through a management change.
Oh,
So they have not moved all that stuff to the new website.
okay.
I talked with one of the board members on the HOA, they said they could probably get it, but I noticed on your, on the requirements for this, that it didn't really need.
Right,
proof of that.
well, and I asked, and it's for informational purposes only, whether they approve it or decline it or deny it. Really, it's a factor, but it's not the factor. So just, because we have cases regularly where we'll approve something and the HOA will not, and vice versa. So that's, like I said, it's really just informational purposes only.
They originally kicked it back because it needs to be a hip roof to match the house where there's a hip roof.
Oh.
I didn't even know what that was, but guess so then we got it
Oh, I
changed
see.
on the drawing and then resubmitted and they approved.
That was for design consistency? Yeah, I can see why they would do that. Is this how your house currently sits today?
Correct.
Okay. I don't really have any questions. I mean, the overhead, and I think you included an overhead, did you not?
Yes. I think it was the last.
There
one.
it is, yeah. I mean, you don't impact anybody at all.
No.
The deer will have to walk a little bit further
The
around.
deer, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the application's correct, there are a lot of three-car garages. in the
Oh,
area.
yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm surprised you don't have one. You know, because a lot of, over in there, I should live over there. I need a three-car.
I guess, am I seeing or am I missing, what's the driveway situation gonna be going to the third car garage?
It'll be asphalt to match the current driveway, just right around that tree.
Okay, around that tree, okay, yeah.
Oh, the one that's almost out to the sidewalk, or not, yeah,
Yeah,
sidewalk.
I think there's about 6 feet there. It probably needs to be trimmed back.
Okay, well, you'll learn to maneuver then, I guess. Okay. I don't,
Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared for finding a fact if you think we should move forward.
not quite, but I'll get back to you. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak regarding this application? All right, seeing no one, then we can go into the finding of fact. Mr. Campanella?
Okay, sure. One of the things that we
Oh.
do, go ahead.
Sorry. Encroachment. How far,
5 feet.
is it 5 feet?
He said 5 feet, yeah.
Oh, you said 5 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're sticking, okay, all right. Okay, just wanted to make sure we knew that. Okay,
All right. We're guided by the State of Ohio Supreme Court case Duncan v. Middlefield to help structure our finding of facts, to ensure that we're consistent with overall jurisprudence within the state, and we have to provide our perspective on that with regards to how we choose to make a motion or to approve these types of variances. So I'm going to go down the list of the questions that you're familiar with and just provide a perspective, which will go into the record and could form the basis for our discussion and how we would move forward to approve or not approve based on those facts. The first question is whether the property in question would yield a reasonable return, whether there can be beneficial use of the property without the variance. I think the answer to that is yes. The garage is a extra amenity to an already nice home, but there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to get a good return from the home if you were to sell it as is, as opposed to doing what you're doing. So it's not dispositive. It's just kind of a fact that your home maintains the value that it has regardless of whether you do this. Now, the expectation is that you'll probably get more value out of it on the back end from this because it's also in character with the neighborhood from what we've seen from our research. The second criteria that we look at is whether the variance is substantial. Given that this results in a 16.7% reduction from the required standard, I'm going to say that this is not a substantial variance. Typically, we look at things that are around 20, 25%, starting to get into the substantial range. Additionally, due to the angled property line, only the rear portion of the proposed structure reaches the 25-foot setback. The remainder of the addition maintains a greater separation from the common open space, and the encroachment is modest and the minimum necessary to achieve a functional 14-foot garage bay. Also, it's going into a drainage easement, which really shields it from anyone else in the neighborhood, creating the substantiality of this to be less than it would be otherwise. The next question is whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered, or whether adjoining properties would suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance. I'm going to offer that the answer is no, that the character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered. First, three-car garages are common within the Grand Oak subdivision, and the proposed addition is architecturally consistent with the existing home. Thank you, HOA. The materials, design, and the scale will comply with the HOA regulations, keeping the area consistent. Also, the area affected by the encroachment abuts dense, wooded common open space and is not visible or functionally shared with any residential neighbor. Therefore, no contiguous residential property would suffer any substantial detriment. The only nearby residence is located across Harrow Glen Drive, minimizing the visual or functional impact, and therefore, and also contiguous property owners were notified, and we did not receive any feedback other than the cursory request that we talked about before. The next Duncan Middlefield element is whether the variance would adversely affect the delivery of government services. Reports back that there would not be any adverse impact on government services. Everyone has indicated, who we've spoken to, that this would not be a problem. The next question is whether the property owner purchased the property with the knowledge of the zoning restriction. And our typical answer here is yes, because we anticipate that when folks do a transaction like buying a home, that they know what their legal requirements are and what they are not able to do. And then finally, whether the property owner's predicament can feasibly be obviated through some other method other than a variance. The answer to this is clearly no. The predicament cannot be feasibly obviated through a method other than variance. The applicants evaluated an 8-foot wide compliant garage addition. However, the required driveway alignment and approach angle would produce unsafe turning movements and insufficient maneuverability, rendering that alternative impractical. No other design solution was found that would achieve a functional garage addition while maintaining the full 30-foot setback, given the angled lot geometry. Therefore, that's why you're here. And then finally, whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirements would be observed and a substantial justice be done by granting this variance. I'm going to posit that the answer to that is yes, based on the substantial elements that we identified previously. The spirit and intent of the setback requirement would be reserved and substantial justice done by granting the variance. The 30-foot setback from common open space is intended to preserve separation between residential structures and shared open areas. The adjacent common open space consists of dense woodland that is not actively used and is largely screened from view, such that the practical buffer function of the regulation is effectively preserved at the 25 feet level. Granting the variance allows the applicants to reasonably use their property while minimally and narrowly encroaching on the required setback in a location with no adverse impact on neighboring properties, open space function, or community character. And Mr. Chairman, that is my finding of fact.
Okay. Discussion? Anyone? Anybody want to make a motion? God, not everybody at once.
I'm prepared,
Go ahead.
if need be.
Sure.
Which exhibits do we have? A through what? A through E. I propose a motion to incorporate exhibits A through E, as well as the board's findings pertaining to the review of section 307.06 of Genoa Township zoning resolution into evidence, and to approve the requested dimensional variance from section 403-062A7 of the Genoa Township zoning regulation for BZA 2026-08 application received on February 19th, 2026, to allow a setback of 25 feet from common open space in lieu of the required 30 feet for the construction of a 14-foot wide attached third-car garage addition on the north side of a single-family residence located at 5292 Harrow Glen Drive, Galena, Ohio 43021, parcel ID 317-230-28-003-000, zoned residential. The approval findings of fact indicate that the variance will not be contrary to public interest because the encroachment is modest, 5 feet or a 16.7% reduction, and is located along the north side of the property, which abuts dense wooded common open space with no active recreational or residential use. No contiguous residential neighbor is adversely impacted. The 25-foot setback maintained provides adequate clearance for emergency access and municipal services. Special conditions result in a practical difficulty because the angled configuration of the north property line combined with the 30-foot setback requirement from common open space restricts any garage addition to approximately 9 feet under strict compliance, a dimension that is insufficient for safe and functional use as a vehicle parking bay. This geometric constraint is a condition of the lot and not the result of any action by the current applicants. The approval is consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution because the purpose of a setback, as we've indicated, from common open space is to preserve meaningful separation between residential structures and shared areas. The adjacent common open space is densely wooded, not actively utilized, and largely screened from view. A 25-foot setback substantially serves the intent of the regulation. The proposed addition is architecturally compatible with the neighborhood, thanks to the HOA, reduces the need for on-street parking, and represents the minimum variance necessary for a functional improvement. And this approval would be conditioned on all permits being in place, zoning or otherwise, shall be attained prior to the commencement of construction. The garage addition shall be constructed in a substantial conformance with the plans and elevations submitted with the application dated February 19th, 2026. The action shall match the existing structure in exterior materials, color, and architectural character. The approved variance shall lapse and expire if permits not obtained within 1 year of the date of approval. Extensions may be requested pursuant to section 307.11A and B of the Genoa Township zoning resolution. And authority is granted to the zoning inspectors to extend at their discretion. I so move.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Mr. Halloran seconds, okay. Discussion? Anyone? No? Then I guess I'll call the question. Mr. Campanella?
Yes?
Mr. Halloran?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcoxen?
Yes.
Ms. Yu?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion carried. Congratulations.
Enjoy your new garage.
Enjoy your 9 months of construction. Yeah. That's what it took my neighbor when they did theirs. Okay, and at 7:35, the hearing is closed. All right, here we go. What's that? Oh, yeah, I get that.
You want to see something? Today was.
How old is he? 7. Okay. We've got our 2 grandchildren living with us, 11 and 6, and it's the same process. I can't get the 11-year-old out of the house. All right, we're going to call the next hearing. We'll open it at 7:35. And I'll read the legal notice into the record, and then we'll swear those in that wish to speak. Thomas and Sarah, Buoni. Did I get it?
They're 10, they're identical.
Well, then I guess I get an A for tonight. They'll pay me maybe tonight. Requesting approval of a variance for a deck to
And they know
encroach
it, too.
into a
They've been
rear
sleeping.
setback at 5612 Alston Grove Drive, Westerville, Ohio, 43082, lot 7157 in Oaks at Highland Lakes, currently zoned planned residential, PRD, and this is case 2026-10. And those that wish to appear on this matter, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Be seated. The legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on March 11th, 2026 in the Delaware Gazette and posted at the Genoa Township Hall on March 9th, 2026. An attempt to mail notice of this hearing to property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject property was also made. The following following were marked as exhibits A through E: the legal notice, the sign-in sheet, the application, the staff report, and all public comments received by the Development and Zoning Department between February 23rd, 2026 and March 24th, 2026. Do we have any or no? Okay, and Paul Benson, we'll start with the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick history of the property. Oaks Island Lakes was platted in July of 2004. The permit for the house was approved March of 2005, and then a permit was also approved for an addition in April of 2009. Staff received an application for the proposed deck in October of 2025. November 6th, staff replied or sent an email to the applicant stating that the deck as proposed encroached into the rear setback for a deck. Just a little update as far as the zoning resolution goes for this. There is a 30-foot rear setback for Oaks to Highland Lakes. However, the zoning resolution allows for some amenities like decks and patios to encroach up to 10 feet into that 30-foot rear setback. So the setback for an attached deck would be 20 feet. They are requesting to be beyond that 20 feet, which is why they are here for the variance. The original application stated the deck would be 13 feet from the rear lot line. They have now amended that to a different distance, which I'm sure they're going to mention in their presentation. The house sits 33.7 feet from the rear lot line, so that would give them about 13.7 feet for a deck that would be compliant. There is also a 20-foot easement at the rear of the property. The survey that we have on file does not say what type of easement that it is. However, there is a large drainage easement within the open space that is behind them. So I assume that 20-foot drainage easement is a portion of the drainage easement. As far as the township's rules, when somebody applies for something that is within an easement, we don't take that easement into account unless we own the easement, because it's not our right to say yes or no for somebody else's easement. However, if somebody does apply into something that is a drainage easement, we do tell them they need to get approval from Delaware County of Soil and Water before we will process the application. Delaware County Soil and Water, you typically will approve anything in a drainage easement as long as it does not block the natural flow of water. Typically, it's usually those aluminum fences that we have, and they don't have any issues with those because they're open enough that the stormwater will still drain downhill as it normally does. As far as this, with it being a raised deck and just having some pylons to be able to do that, our guess is it's probably going to be approved by them also for that reason. And then we sent copies of the application to Police, Fire, and Maintenance. Fire Marshal Cato, of course, responded with no concerns. And we have not received any inquiries from the general public. And I will turn it back to you.
Okay, anyone have any questions for staff? Okay, let's hear from the applicant.
Push the button on that microphone. Thanks.
If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your project.
My name's Tom Boney.
And I'm Sarah Boning.
This is my wife, Sarah. So we currently have a paver patio on the back of our house.
I
And
see.
due to a massive birch tree that will be being cut down, it's just damaging it. Tree roots have uprooted all of the pavers and trip hazards, and honestly, it's deteriorating at a rapid rate. So when we came up with the idea of what we wanted to do kind of an open deck so we can enjoy the space. It backs up to the preserve, so we have nothing but woods behind us. And so we just wanted a space where our growing family could enjoy, which was the whole idea behind this. Initially, when we came up with this design, we honestly didn't really think of the setback lines or think that we were encroaching anything because the deck is not going any further than an existing mulch bed that has been there
So it's
since.
basically just over the same footprint.
Correct. It's
Yeah.
going right over
Yeah,
top
and
of this.
this is Not atypical.
So that's our project.
Okay, and I assume you have a contractor and you're
We
gonna-
do,
yeah,
yep.
Okay. I'll ask the HOA question.
We have not contacted HOA yet, so that's next, and we wanted to get through this, and that's next on the list.
Yeah, a lot of times, and you've heard me talk about it before, a lot of times it becomes the chicken and the egg
Right.
discussion, because the HOA may or may not like it, but they depend on what we do, and like I said, it's just more information for us,
Sure.
that's all.
And one other quick note
Sure.
on the soil and drainage, with Delaware County. We
Yes.
did reach out to them as well. They sent us a letter that we're exempt because it's in a neighborhood, is what they told us. So I have a letter I can.
Oh, so they're
forward.
not gonna require anything then? Okay, well, that's good.
That's good. That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, yeah, I had it written down too. We were all racing to get there. Okay, well, that's good, because, yeah, all right. Here, let's just get this out of the way. Does any member of the public wish to speak regarding this application?
Oh, I think it was still up in the air how far, how much of a
Oh, I'm sorry.
setback they need,
4.6 feet
Okay,
is what,
into the
yeah, so.
20 feet. Got it, okay.
Correct. So requesting 4.6 feet encroachment with a two-foot cantilever on post and beam. So encroachment is actually 2.6 feet.
and you're sure that's gonna be enough?
Yes.
Okay, you don't need 5, you need 4.6.
4.6 or 4 feet 6 inches?
Ah,
4 feet, 6 inches. Yes.
The encroachment's only 2.5 feet,
Yes.
Yeah.
because of where the structure's gonna be.
right.
Correct.
Well,
No,
depends on
no,
side
the posts are gonna be 2 feet 6 inches into the
Right.
setback. The deck itself goes 2 feet past the
Yes.
posts. So it's gonna be a 4 foot 6 inch encroachment.
So so the encroachment measured at the place where it's structurally anchored, or is it where it's,
The closest part of the structure to the lot line is gonna be where we measure from.
right, so it's a 4.5-foot encroachment?
Correct. Yes.
I was reading the law differently.
Okay, oh, okay, I didn't hear any members of the public, so,
Yeah, I didn't mean to,
yeah.
just wanted to get that.
So,
Okay.
we're just gonna move right along then.
Question? Is this how your home is situated today?
Yes.
The one
Still?
with the red dot.
Yes.
That's you?
Yeah.
And that little patio at the bottom area, that's where your patio currently is today? And it's going over that exact footprint, pretty much, right?
Correct.
You're gonna do a composite deck. How high off the ground are you gonna make it?
2 stairs,
2 stairs?
2 stairs.
So it's about 24 inches up off?
Yeah, so whatever the legal height is to where you don't have to have railings, that's as high as it's gonna be.
It's smart that you're doing composite. As a deck owner myself, very, very smart.
Well, and I sell real estate too, so I see these decks, and yeah, a lot of research into it, and there's a lot of actually options for composite
Yeah.
itself, so it's a lot overwhelming actually to try to choose something.
It is.
Really good, yeah.
Is the cost, and it's kind of off the subject, but is the cost a lot different between wood and composite?
We didn't even get a wood estimate, to be honest. We were either gonna go concrete, like, I actually wanted to just do a concrete slab and call it.
And I see as,
Saw how that went.
yes,
how that
as
went,
in my
so.
house, you were immediately outvoted.
Yes, I was, so.
little
So hence
concrete
the
in my
composite,
backyard.
but I do like the composite look.
I think you'll be happy with this.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a real estate appraiser, and I will tell you that composite carries the day.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done mine. I redid mine 3 or 4 years ago, and I wish I'd done it in composite, but
Yeah.
one of us in our house is a little tight in the buck.
The only downside to composite, because I have all 4 of my decks, is if it's ever cold, take everything off, because I had one go, and if it breaks the board in the middle, you gotta take off
I've heard that,
every
yeah.
board to go that way, because I have to, yeah, it's
My only.
not an easy one.
My question when we were looking at it was how hot does it get in the
If you
summer?
buy the TimberTech PVC, the new line is what I did. I went up. It is not hot at all. You
Okay.
can walk on it and it doesn't do
I
it, but
think that's
it's,
what we're doing,
Yeah.
is timber.
It-
And you've got a lot of shade too, so.
yeah, you won't.
We do.
That's why we didn't want to go wood, is because it just gets so, with the
It'll-
shade,
yeah,
it just
it'll-
gets.
and you'll
There's
get that-
enough
you'll get the
moisture back
mossy
there as
mold.
it is.
Learn from my mistakes. I did a 700-foot deck, all wood 20 years ago, and I replaced 20% of it a year. It's ridiculous.
No, will you?
Oh, sure.
All right, you want to walk us through, oh, God, I've been watching too much of The Office, apparently. Duncan versus Middlefield.
All right, the board reviewed section 307.06 of the zoning resolution reflecting Duncan v. Middlefield as it pertains to the area variance requested from section 909.01 point B of the Genoa Township zoning resolution and the Oaks at Highland Lakes final development plan to allow for a deck to encroach into the rear setback in a planned residential zoning district as follows. The property in question would yield a reasonable return, and there can be beneficial use of the property without the variance, in that they could just have a slab on grade or repair the existing patio. The variance is not substantial. It's about 22%, and our rule of thumb is 25%. Variance, the essential character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered, and the adjoining properties would not suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance because of really the angle of the property and where the deck is going, it really can't be seen, except perhaps by the one neighbor to the north.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And plus the trees, and I'm assuming there's a road on the other side of there. Yeah, it just keeps
deer
going.
will have-
Yeah, no, there's,
Oh, we
yeah.
have lots
Yeah.
of them. We were watching several of them before we got here.
Yeah, and based on the plans, it doesn't look like the deck's gonna extend beyond the boundaries of the house
No.
in the back. The variance would not adversely affect delivery of government services, I assume that per their review. The property owner did purchase the property with the knowledge of the zoning restriction because it existed at the time the house was built. The property owner's predicament cannot be feasibly obviated through a method other than the variance, because it's narrow, you could build a smaller deck, but
Yeah,
a
smaller deck
4-foot
or-
smaller deck
Yeah, it's gonna be,
is,
it's not gonna have a lot of utility
no,
to do that.
no.
'cause
I
then
mean,
you're
you could build it
talking
at a weird angle that kind of goes
14
along,
feet
but,
on the end.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I would go with cannot.
okay.
The spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice would be done by granting the variance. Again, because of just the location of the deck in really such a secluded location and just the odd shape of the lot as well, just makes it very narrow in that one area.
It's definitely at a different angle.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing.
I love it.
It gives us more privacy
Yeah,
because
but
nobody
it
can.
really pinches down to
Yep.
it's like if you took,
It does.
yeah.
I think it all goes back to where our driveway is too. Like you can't just the way you come in, because you kind of drive in. I call it the elbow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
We
really,
look like an
exactly.
elbow.
that is, yeah, that's a really narrow opening there.
Yeah, I was looking at that, okay. Okay,
All right, any other discussions?
are we ready to make a motion, anyone?
Yeah, I move to incorporate exhibits A through E, as well as the board's finding pertaining to the review of section 307.06 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution into evidence, and to approve the requested variance from section 909.01.b of the Genoa Township zoning resolution and the Oaks at Highland Lakes final development plan for BZA 2026-10. Application received February 23rd, 2026, to allow for a deck to encroach into the rear setback 4 feet 6 inches, correct?
Yeah.
On property known as Lot 7157 in Oaks at Highland Lakes, 5712 Alston Grove Drive, Westerville, Ohio, 43082, zone plan residential. This motion is based on the following findings of fact pursuant to section 307.04 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution. That such variance or modification will not be contrary to the public interest because of all the things we mentioned. It abuts the wooded area. It's not going to be really noticeable from the street, and it's a relatively small variance that they're requesting. That owing to the special conditions, a literal enforcement of this zoning resolution will result in an unnecessary hardship because number one, you wouldn't be able to build the deck that you're seeking the approval for. And like we discussed, something smaller might not be of very much use. That the approval of such variance or modification thereof is consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution, and substantial justice shall be done thereby because I mean, again, it's a like neighborhood, other properties around the neighborhood have decks. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be detrimental to any of the neighbors in the area behind you. The approval of the subject variance is subject to the owner's agreement to the following conditions. One, all required permits, zoning or otherwise, be obtained. Two, pursuant to section 307.11 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution, the approved variance shall lapse, expire, and be null and void ab initio if required zoning permits are not obtained within 1 year of this motion of approval. Three, the extension to this variance may be requested pursuant to sections 307.11.a and b of the Genoa Township zoning resolution as may be amended. Four, the Board of Zoning Appeals does grant the Genoa Township zoning inspector authority to extend this variance at their discretion, subject to the deadlines established within section 307.11.a of the Genoa Township zoning resolution as may be amended. I so move.
Okay. I'll second. Any discussion? Anything else? Anybody?
Yes, sorry. You stated in
please.
that motion that the address was 5712. It's actually 5612.
Thank
Okay.
you. I
Do you-
heard
do
that
you
too.
want-
I was like,
yeah, do you want
"Oh, there?"
do you want to amend that to 5612?
Yeah, let me
She's
make
over
that
here going,
clarification.
That's not my address.
I was like, just let him
The
get through
neighbors are
it.
gonna enjoy the deck, don't worry.
I don't think that address exists.
I would like to amend that address to 5612 Alston Grove Drive in Westerville, Ohio, 43082.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, discussion, anything else? Any other revisions, any corrections? Okay, I will call the vote. Mr. Campanella,
Yes.
Mr. Holleran.
Yes.
Mr. Wilcoxen.
Yes.
Ms. Yu.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Enjoy your deck.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
And we're adjourned at 7:56, 6, whatever. Okay. Is there anything else?
So, yes, I just had on the other business there, just wanted to mention, as you had mentioned also, Mr. Phillips was not reappointed to the board, so
Right.
tonight would have been his final meeting. And Gail Guest, I know Joe had already forwarded this to you, she resigned from the board on March
Yes.
3rd.
Did I
But
break her with her first meeting?
I don't know, I'm not, she didn't really state a reason, just decided she was going to resign.
Well, that's nice. That wasn't the reason for it.
So in April, we will have one new regular member and one new alternate.
Are you, for the alternates, are you soliciting applications other than what you had?
For the new alternate, that I do not know.
Okay, because it kind of looked like we were.
I believe most people that had applied were appointed to various boards.
Oh, they put them on
So I
other
think they
boards.
may have reached out again to try to find another alternate to see if anybody would be interested in applying. And then as far as the agenda for next month, as you know, we had the 3 applications tonight that were continued. We have also received 4 new applications for April, so we are currently at 7 applications for April. So just be ready for a longer meeting.
I just wanted to note that
Unfortunately.
the applications that came from the cemetery
Yes,
looked very sparse.
correct. I will be in contact with.
I didn't want to bring it up
with the
because it was
applicant, so-
continued,
Well, I
but
think
Yes,
that's why we
yeah.
continued it.
Well, no, the representative is out of town currently. That's also why we
Oh,
continued it.
okay. I
but
thought it was the lack of.
But I will be in touch with the applicant to let them know that they may want to
Okay.
provide some more guidance to the
it showed a
board.
lack of
as far
commitment
as-
to the process, and I just don't think they should, they don't want to come in here demonstrating that kind of lack of commitment.
Certainly, yes,
I
yeah.
don't
We
know
will,
if that was it. I think it's inexperience. Because a lot of times we get people that don't
I want to just
They're not familiar.
make sure we don't discuss the application when the
Right.
applicant's not here, so I don't want
Yeah,
to,
absolutely.
I don't want to get too much into that, but staff will reach out to the applicant
Yeah.
to let them know that they may want some more materials. We also, they did not provide us the envelopes to be able to mail the legal notice. We didn't mail the legal notice for them. They're gonna have to be mailed the new legal notice for the April meeting. So there are other items that they were missing. So we will be in contact with them.
Yeah,
And-
I
It just got flagged for me.
And note to
that's all.
them that, yes, that maybe a site plan that shows where the mausoleum is would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
So yes, we will reach out to them. And then that is all that I have.
Okay.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a new permanent member or a new alternate?
There is a new permanent member, and then currently, Michael is the only alternate after Gail's resignation. Because Michael was up for reappointment, he got reappointed. Gail,
As an alternate?
yes, correct. Yeah, Gail was on
I'm the
this,
first alternate, moved up in the middle.
yes.
So,
Gail-
can he apply for the role? And then,
He is already an alternate.
no, I mean, for the permanent job?
They appointed somebody different for the permanent job.
Oh, they already did?
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
It used to
Yes.
be, here, I'll give you history, since I am here longer than anybody in the room. It used to be if you were an alternate and a regular member resigned, they would select an alternate
Yeah.
to move up. That's actually how I got on.
Yeah.
Because I was an alternate. And generally, speaking, you're an alternate, I think the alternate term is 2 years. And generally, you'll sit on the board, like the second or third time I was at a meeting, there was only 3 of us here, and I was the alternate and then 2 regular members. But the point is that the alternates used to move up. Rarely did someone be appointed as a regular member with not being a board member.
Right.
But that's up to the trustees' discretion, so.
I have no insight into
Sure.
how the process worked. All I know is that having been an alternate, my experience with being an alternate was,
Well-
without being elevated, would have been a little unsatisfying. is
Yeah,
my-
I
point.
I don't think we need to discuss it a whole lot, but yeah, I have definite opinion as far as how that process should work and does work.
Yeah, I was told that she had prior experience.
I mean, if you. it
Uh,
doesn't
The
matter.
the trustees, I don't believe, made any reasoning for when they made their appointments. They just made a motion to appoint. So I can't speak on why they made the appointments that they did. Speaking of the trustees, though, did everybody get the notice about April 9th
Yes.
and coming for a joint
I've already
meeting?
RSVP'd, so if you guys want to come hang out with me for an hour, I will be here.
On
So,
the 9th?
So,
yes.
Yeah.
And aside from in here, I'm quite engaging.
Oh, that's a Thursday, right?
Thir-
Yeah,
thir-
I teach on Thursdays.
Thursday at 6 o'clock is the.
So we'll get to
is
be
the
able to
meeting,
meet the
so.
trustees at that meeting?
I'm not 100% sure what the reasoning behind the meeting was. Trustee McMurray thought it would be a good idea to just kind of have like a get-together of the trustees and the zoning commission and the Board of
Would it
Zoning
be
Appeals,
cake?
just to kind of get together. If you bring one, probably.
I'll bring my own. All right, I think we beat the horse to death tonight. We did pretty good for an hour, I gotta tell you. I don't think it's gonna be that pleasant next week.
Unfortunately,
or next
probably
month. So,
We'll probably get a continuance from that one, too.
what's that?
We'll probably end up getting a continuance or 2 from that one as well.
I don't know, do you think, Paul? Yeah, I know you don't really know. but- And that's why I try and ask, just as for a point of reference, that's why I try and ask if people are able to make sure they have, because we've had applicants that sometimes will take over a month
Yeah.
to get their materials in, and, you know, and they need to go out 2 months then. Depends on what their time frame is too, for their improvements or whatever they're gonna do.
You know what they say, you're not here for a good time, you're here for a long time.
Yeah, well, it's been good. I'm
A good long time.
I'm 15 years and it's a pretty good time. All right, it's not car racing, but it's a good time. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Then we are adjourned at 8:02.
What I was just saying is that it was disappointing to hear that you didn't get it, because you've done the work. you know? I mean, because if I had been passed over, I probably would have